And then we have Dominik Gygax.
Yes, and he's actually an intermediate because of his age. He cannot compete with
34 years old, so he's competing as a new entrant, but because of his age, he has to compete under the intermediate. All right, next heat coming up, Dominik Gygax going up against Benjamin Stegnitz. Last bits of markings and everything on the blocks by our judges. After each cut, they have to reset that 10-centimeter marking because obviously there's pieces of material being cut away. And you can see Benjamin Stegnitz, marking the block. That's giving him a guideline for that first cut. And also usually they do a line on the front side so they can guide that second cut on the upcut, right?
Yes, each athlete does it a little bit different. Some of them don't mark anything at all. Not sure how they go about that.
I'd be happy if I could lift the saw and not miss the block completely and keep my toes intact.
So getting that warm-up done properly is also very important, getting the
athlete
saw running.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, really quick start by Gygax there. A little bit of experience at play, I'm guessing, using a motor saw, but Stegnitz has got a very nice, fast first cut. Transition to the upcut is beautiful. Both of them looking good, but that's close, but it's Gygax with a very nice 13-13 personal best, and a transition for both of them on the upcut was great, but it was Stegnitz who was quite fast on that first cut, eh?
Yes, indeed. I guess he does have quite a bit of experience, even though this is his first appearance at a still competition.
That's interesting. A hole in the middle of the block. I've never seen that.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, stand 1, DQ, jump the gun, stand 2, okay.
Oh no!
Oh, false start by Gygax. We're going to have to take a look at that in that slow-mo. Hopefully we'll see that.
I thought he was really quick, but I thought it was still within. Yeah, you can see how quick that he comes off that block.
Yeah, he jumped the gun big time there. What's interesting for me, though, on Stegnitz's block on the upcut, it looked to me like a middle portion of the block actually fell out. It was almost like it got drilled out. I've never actually seen that before. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Let's see if we can see a picture of it here.
Yeah. To make sure that the axe really does cut as much as possible.
So when you're going straight in, you're not getting chips or blocks coming out of, or slabs coming out of that block. You're not cutting, actually. You're just
tapping it a bit.
Making marks and tapping it. Okay, and that happens. We'll also see when these guys get a bit tired, their angle starts to reduce a bit, huh? Okay, so our first guys are on stage. Dominik Gygax going up against Benjamin Stegnitz, and this is also a discipline where they won't let you compete unless you can show you have control over that axe.
Okay. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A little bit of a hop by Stegnitz there. I don't know if that was just a piece of the bark that came off of that block or what happened, but that looked weird. You can see the first few drivers going in by both of these guys. Some nice chips coming off for Stegnitz there, but that's that staircase that you were talking about, and that comes with experience and getting the accuracy up, right?
That's right. Accuracy is so key in this event.
Stegnitz first to move over to the other side of his block. Gygax is still working on the first side of his block, and Stegnitz with a definite advantage here as he's moved over to the other side as these guys get close to the 40-second mark in standing block chop. Gygax maybe thinking a bit more in theory, getting deeper on the first side and not having to do as much work on the backside may have a good time. Stegnitz getting pretty close to cutting through the backside of his block. A couple, 3 more drivers should do it for him. And there we go. Stegnitz with a time of 54.05 and a personal best for him. Gygax, his tactic maybe wasn't exactly right. He's not really taking that saw far back out. He's gripping it at the head of the saw, but he's using a lot of his arms and shoulders for the hits, isn't he?
That's right. You got to use your whole body. I don't think he was expecting that.
No, I don't think so either. I've never seen an upcut go through the block and have it pop off the top like that. That was a good one, though. I like it. All right, so Stegnitz's time is locked in with a personal best adjusted 55.25.
Both cuts are good.
Both cuts are good, and a 1:13.76 for Gygax. He's going to lock that in as a personal best as well, being a first competition for him. So that's a point where he can work from.
That's right, and that's a good time for first competition.
Ah, there's that skip that I saw. So I wasn't seeing things. And there's the angle we can see. From this, it's not so easy to see the angle, but from Gygax's axe, he's cutting in quite straight. And there for Stegnitz as well, his angle on the lower cuts is really flat.
That's right, and that is something also that you kind of got to train in a dry run to get that movement, so that when you're actually at the block training it, then you can get it right.
Here's that moment where you kind of go, ugh. There's a thread holding the block on the top. That extra driver is maybe a half second, and that sometimes can be the difference between winning and losing in a heat and moving on to the next round.
That's right, you can see, oh, there's that pop.
Completely unexpected. So, such a cool look, though. And now we have Dominik Gygax going up against Benjamin Stegnitz in heat number 2. Gygax without a personal best locked and loaded yet, so I'd be curious to know how he does today. And no matter what time he gets, as long as it's not a DQ for being over the time, he will have a personal best.
Athlete ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Benjamin getting a good flow right away. Gygax struggling on those first couple of strokes, and Stegnitz seems to be in good stead there. And those blocks that you mentioned that they screwed into the boards of the floor in order to give him a foothold, because a lot of guys actually are using spiked shoes in order to have a good grip on the floor for these pushes and pulls back and forth. Stegnitz getting close to the 30-second mark. He's almost at the bottom of his cut here. Oh, and he's really struggling to find that last hit, and he's got a 32.82. Gygax with a 33.79. That is a great personal best for a first competition in the intermediate level.
Good.
So that's a super job by him. Very well done. Little surprise hello from us there on screen. Huh?
So you can see he put his slippers on there now to kind of protect those spikes that he's
ladies
got
and
on.
gentlemen,
Yep.
both cuts are good.
Now, these aren't necessarily specially designed shoes for timber sports. They're more like a shot put or
Or track shoes
a track shoe,
for
right?
running.
Huh.
That's right. Depends on your preference if you only want the spikes in the front or through the entire shoe.
All right, let's pick this apart a little bit here.
So you can see the athletes are sawing with 2 different angles. So that's really up to the athlete what they prefer. For starting out, obviously flat is a little bit better just because of the weight of the saw. Once you've got to push through all the way, that it doesn't tip and catch afterwards when you try and pull back.
And those small angle changes that we just saw there from Stegnitz is what was really causing problems. You can see at the end, he's just like giving a breath to the heavens. Thank you, that is over. For our first heat in underhand chop, and Dominik Gygax going to also log in, hopefully a personal best time here today, going up against Benjamin Stegnitz with a 57-second clean personal best cut on the underhand. Now we'll also notice that these guys are wearing really soft running shoes. Underneath them, they're wearing a chainmail sock that's required in order to protect their feet and legs in case something happens with the axe, right?
That's right.
Ready.
This way,
Stand
you're
to
going
your
home with all your
timber.
toes.
Maybe a broken toe, but all your toes are still there. Here we go.
Go!
Nice start by both of these guys. Stegnitz looking very good. Looks like he's got a practiced hand in this. He's got a bit more experience than Gygax does. There's Gygax's shoes, as you see, the soft shoes, keeping a little bit better grip on the top of those footholds on the block. Gygax, you can see he's got really nice clean cuts as he switches over to the other side of his block first. Now, this is also the discipline where most chopping is learned before you can step up to the standing block chop, correct?
That's right. This is an event that you actually start out with when you try the sport.
So Gygax now moving over to the other side of his block, gingerly holding that axe above his head before he makes that first driver. You can see some nice chips coming out of Stegnit's blocks. He should be through any second now. Oh, he steps down, but one more driver should do it, and he splits through. Whoa, and he fell forward. He's got himself a personal best 54.70. Good that he controlled that axe, though, and he didn't let go of it and have it falling into the audience. And Gygax with a 103.69. That's a very nice starting result for him, and a personal best logged and loaded for him as well. So now the judges will check to make sure that those footholds weren't cut into, which is a mistake that a lot of rookies make.
That's right, being nervous and not aiming at the same spot.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Hitting that
Vote
foothold
good.
is not good.
Yeah, it's also a safety issue as well. They want to make sure that the foothold isn't hit because your feet are obviously in that position. But both these guys have good cuts, and the times are locked and official, and both of them are walking away with personal bests here today. So great job for our first heat in underhand chop as we take a look back.
So what's good is you can see by Gygax, he's actually standing on his log using the full feet are on there, not just his tippy toes. So it means he's got a lot more balance when he's coming in and hitting that log.
A little more power can come out of that as well.
That's right.
We do see guys that tend to be a little bit more tippy-toed,
So you
but
can see Benjamin right there, he's more on the balls, almost tippy toes. His balance isn't that great, so don't.
it cost him. He had to step down.
That's right, and there you see how he's slipping off. I don't know if he was ready for that last hit. Usually you kind of change your weight over to the side that is actually still attached to the stand.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll bring all our athletes out from bottom to top, and there's our one intermediate athlete, Dominik Gygax, coming up on stage. As he is an intermediate athlete, he doesn't get the ranking in the rookie rankings, but a great opportunity for him to be out there and competing and getting some points. Lewis